How's it going, everyone? My name is Justin, and as you can see from the title of this video, we are going to be looking at the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer that came out for E3 2019. And I'm going to be honest, right off the bat, unlike a lot of Final Fantasy VII fans, I'm coming into this very, very skeptic. I think that a lot of the content surrounding Final Fantasy VII after the release of the game in 1997, Crisis Core, Before Crisis, Advent Children, Advent Children Complete, as well as Dirge of Cerberus. All that stuff is kind of like extensions of Final Fantasy VII, but I think the game is near perfect as it was. And I think that with someone like Tetsuya Nomura on the project, this could stand to be something that's a recipe for disaster if they change too much of the game that we got in 1997. So that being said, I've also heard from some people whose opinions I really respect that the trailer is very good. They're still looking forward to the game. So we're going to jump in and see how this goes. All right, here we go. Already looks very good. Wow. Wow, okay. All right, let's look so good so far. Very cool. I'll turn this down.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir.
Okay, so the motorcycle.
For saving my life. You think he's a keeper?
Oh my god.
Hmm. Wow, okay.
Gotta look at the bigger picture here. Nothing worth fighting for was ever won without sacrifice.
Help me!
Whoa.
Arlene.
Have you been a good girl?
Cloud looks good. Everybody looks good.
I heard you're having second thoughts.
Oh, is they get Steve Burton again?
I know we have to think big if we're going to make a difference. But not like this. I feel trapped. My turn.
You know, because of the graphics, I can't even really remember how much of this was in the original game.
Get going.
I've always felt like Cloud's English voice actor is kind of exactly what I thought he'd sound like. I could have the name wrong. I thought it was Steve Burton, but it could be somebody else. Wow, Shinra looks good. Whoa. Okay.
Got you now.
It's hard to say if it's active time battle or if it's going to be like Kingdom Hearts. It's probably going to play, I would imagine, like Final Fantasy 15.
You're not real. You're...
Cloud, I have a favor to ask of you. Run away. You have to leave. You have to live.
You bastard!
Hold on to that hatred.
Okay. Okay. You know, it's funny. It's so interesting to kind of come into this video with like, oh, I don't know. That was pretty good. That was good. I'll be honest. Got to give it up. That was very neat. Okay. Oh, what do we got? Oh, yeah, the collector's edition. Yeah, so as far as something I was mentioning a little bit earlier, I felt like the Advent Children English voices were actually all very good. So I do know that there is a, let me go up here to my other monitor. There is a gameplay demo. So I'm going to load this up. 3 minutes and check this out right quick. See what we got here.
Fantasy VII Remake features a hybrid gameplay system that merges real-time action with strategic command-based combat.
Okay.
For starters, each press of the square button is a swing of Cloud's Buster Sword. Cloud attacks, dodges, and blocks all in real time.
Okay.
Standard attacks do some damage, but they barely scratch the surface of Cloud's true potential. Succeeding on the battlefield requires much more than just hacking and slashing. Cloud needs to be tactical. He needs ATB.
Oh,
Two
so they do have
ATB
active
bars
time
are
battle.
displayed in the lower right. These fill up slowly over time, but fill much faster as Cloud lands standard attacks.
Okay.
Once an ATB bar is full, you can enter tactical mode, where time slows to a crawl and you have the opportunity to choose actions from the command menu. Katase-san, I've had the pleasure of seeing quite a bit of the game, but tactical mode never gets old for me. I could just sit here all day long. And watch
Tactical
this
mode, huh?
beautiful
Okay.
slow motion action.
観客の皆さんはね、おそらくね、他の部分ももう少し見たいのではないかと思いますが、皆さんいかがでしょうか。
I think the audience would like to see more. Isn't that right, everyone?
Fair enough. Good point.
All
Good
right.
point.
Yeah?
Well, once in tactical mode, you can choose to perform various abilities, such as Cloud's Braver attack.
Oh, the
Using
limit
items in
break.
battle will deplete an ATB charge, and if Cloud has the right materia equipped and enough MP, he can use ATB charges to cast spells. Of course, this being a remake, we're sure to see some familiar faces. With the use of his iconic gun arm, Barrett is able to target enemies at a distance. Barrett's standard attacks generate ATB charges similar to Cloud, but his abilities are entirely different. Switching between characters in combat is done with a single button press, which makes rotating through party members a snap. Speaking of
Wow.
party members, Katase-san, when are we going to see Tifa in action?
Maybe soon. Soon.
All right. Characters will continue to fight even when you're not controlling them directly.
Okay.
It's up to you to choose how and when ATB charges are used. You can maximize your effectiveness by switching between characters or issuing commands to characters with full ATB bars.
Okay, so when you have 2 bars, I guess.
Every enemy has a focus gauge that fills up as you do damage. When the gauge is full, the enemy becomes staggered and you'll deal bonus damage. Tactical mode evokes the command selections from the original Final Fantasy VII and allows players to enjoy battle while taking the time to think strategically.
Sure.
For players who prefer fast-paced action, abilities and spells can be bound to shortcuts for immediate execution. Shortcuts make combat extremely dynamic, but the choice of using them is entirely up to you. Right, Katase-san?
そうですね、プレイスタイルに合わせて楽しめるゲームになっておりますので、ぜひご期待ください。
That's right. The game has been made so that you can choose how to play. I hope players get excited about this.
Okay.
Brief introduction to combat in Final Fantasy VII Remake, and we look forward to showing you a whole lot more in the coming months. For now, let's see how Cloud and Barrett do against a more formidable foe.
Oh, that's where the video cuts? Okay.
Do you suffer from search fatigue?
Okay. So I'll say this right now before I jump into this last video, because I guess I don't know if this will be a continuation, but I guess it's going to be the boss battle. So here's what I want to say before I get too much farther. I already stand corrected. I came into this video and I came into this game thinking, first off, Nomura was going to mess it up. And I also felt like, and it could still happen, that the changes to the story end up kind of, you know, messing up the game a little bit. Right now, I do not feel that way. I think that it's solid. I don't know if I'll go ahead and watch the trailer again, but I want to watch this. But so far, I think that the way it's been changed gameplay wise is really good. Because I wanted to give a shout out to, of course, Resident Evil 2, where Resident Evil 2's story was more or less intact. And something that I know that I tweeted out was that you can change the approach in a remake, of course, the way that the game is played, so long as the content from the original is all still there. So you can rearrange stuff a little bit, but I think the content has to remain intact. And so far, from what I can remember, because 7 was a long time ago for me, The content seems to be there. So I'm impressed so far. Let's take a look at this.
With strategic command-based combat. For starters,
All right.
each press of the
So,
square button is a swing of Cloud's Buster Sword.
okay, so I need to skip this a little bit.
And blocks all in real time.
That's cool.
Standard attacks do some
All right, here we go.
damage, but they barely the coming months. For now, let's see how Cloud and Barrett do against a more formidable foe.
I don't know if that's a voice from Advent Children for Barrett, though. I have to look it up. It might be. It's been a long time since Advent Children. You gotta get on both sides of it like before? I was curious if you could, like, dodge attacks. Or if there's, like, an auto-aim or something. Whoa. So the music's a little bit different for the boss fight. Dang. That is kind of neat. You can switch to somebody else. And then... I'll attack the weak spot. If that's really Steve Burton, he actually sounds younger than he was before in Advent Children. Or maybe it's just a different... I mean, it's a different personality for Cloud, because Cloud is a little bit more weary and dejected in Advent Children. Whereas in this one, he's still kind of cocky mercenary, ex-mercenary soldier. Whoa. Oh, right. This is where they destroy the bridge and he would eventually fall into the church. I wonder... Oh, you can take... Oh, so the environment. You can use the environment. That's cool. This is a long boss fight. This is very cool. It's funny that they're like talking. Like talking while they fight. Hey, you go over this way. All right, I got him. I guess that's cool. Cross slash. And that's interesting. It's not a they redesigned the limit, I guess. The limit break. Because it looks like you just need one ATB bar to do that. So I wonder if there is even a limit system. I guess maybe not. And the crowd is eating it up.
You hear that? Damn thing showed you how it's done.
All right. The one-winged angel.
Please welcome Tetsuya Nomura, director, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh, wow, okay. I don't know if I'm going to look up any more about this right now. I think it's kind of gone on a bit long enough. I kind of want to watch this trailer one more time. It's only 3 minutes. I want to give this another shot. Because, like, I'm kind of weirdly looking for problems, but at the same time, I fully acknowledge it's very good. It's very good. I don't want to hate on this game. She looks amazing. This zoom out is so good too. Because it looks, obviously it's a shot for shot recreation of the original game, but like when it zooms out, it legit looks like you could kind of zoom back in and just get all that detail of Midgar. That's really cool.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir.
Oh man, it's been so long. I don't even know who that guy. I don't remember the character. Is he the guy that gets hit by the plane? I don't know. This might be Shinra. I'd be curious to know. Shinra looked like a big fat guy. If it's President Shinra, not Rufus, so maybe. And they're bringing that motorcycle scene out early, because I think the only time you do the motorcycle, unless it's been a long time, I forgot. I think that was only when you were leaving Midgar, right after Sephiroth or Genova starts attacking people in Shinra.
You can have it for saving my life. You think he's a keeper?
Oh my god. Y'all gotta look at the bigger picture here. Nothing worth fighting for was ever won without sacrifice.
Help me!
I honestly don't remember 7 well enough to know how that scene fits in. I mean, obviously it would have to be after that scene with the boss fight, because Cloud would have to come flying through the church, but isn't that the Turks that show up? I can't remember who shows up next. And what that is. And they're calling her Aerith, too. Cross slash, nice.
Arlene.
And so this whole sequence that's coming up here where Tifa's like, I feel trapped, I don't remember that at all.
Have you been a good girl?
So maybe that's a slight change. Everybody looks good.
Second thoughts.
I know we have to think big if we're going to make a difference. But not like this. I feel trapped.
I also don't know if that's the voice actor from Advent Children. It could be. I mean, like I said, Advent Children was a long time ago. 2009? I mean, 6 for the Japanese version, but English dubbing, maybe 2009?
My turn.
Get going.
Okay, so this is, okay, coming into Shinra. This is, I guess, after Aerith gets kidnapped.
Got you now. Huh?
So this sequence right here, I mean, obviously this is entirely new. I have to almost keep saying just in case somebody's like, you don't remember this from the original 7? I don't. I don't. In my memory, I don't think Sephiroth was ever seen until after you pass the giant snake. I think it's a while before you actually see him. Because if I remember correctly, you hear about him. The first time you hear about him might be when Genova is set loose and kills a ton of people in Shinra. And then when you make it to Shinra's office, there's a sword in his back. And then I think that's when you know that Sephiroth is a character. And then it becomes getting out of Midgar. And after you get out of Midgar, you meet up at a city, you talk about Sephiroth. And either he's shown then in that city, Can't or Kant. Either he's shown then or way after you see him for the first time. So this is interesting that this looks quite early in the game, if I had to guess. Maybe during the chaos of some Avalanche stuff.
You're not real. You're
Cloud.
I forget who the voice actor is for Sephiroth. He looks good. I'm glad that they kind of like toned down the eyeliner a bit from Advent Children. I wish that, even though he looks very good right here, I still wish that he looked a little bit less evil because, at least in my perception of the character, and maybe this is just different than other people's, we know he's the evil character, but it isn't until much later in the game that you really, really know. Well, never mind. I won't say it that way. I thought he was just, he didn't look evil, but he was. And in this case, you can clearly tell he's the bad guy. And the fires probably represent Nibelheim, if I had to guess.
I have a favor to ask of
Yeah, that could be Nibelheim. Looks like.
you. Run away. You have to leave. You have to live.
you bastard! Yeah!
Yeah, so obviously that's the altercation at Nibelheim, the burning of the city. Yeesh. Well, they did a good job with him. It looks just like.
Hold on to that hatred.
Okay. So I guess the last thing I'll say, well, I didn't even look at this the first time. And receive bonus summon materia. Chocobo chick. Huh. We got here soundtrack, art book, steelbook case. Includes bonus summon materia, the cactuar. Okay. So, not to always make it about something negative, but I had heard that some people had an issue with the fact that he actually, I think in the book for the game, when he was on the motorcycle, he had the hard-edged sword. That's like a weird piece of trivia I think that is accurate about him. He didn't have the Buster Sword. That's a null point, though. I think that something that people found to be a little annoying or frustrating about the game when it was confirmed that Square was working on it was the fact that it was going to be broken up into, I think I had heard 3 games, but probably 3 chapters to most likely simulate the 3 discs. Not to sound contrarian, but I don't necessarily think that's as bad as people might initially think. I can see why people would think it would be bad because you kind of want the whole game right then. You know, you've already waited this long for it. You know, you just want to be able to play it and race through it and see everything that's new. But at the same time, I'm sure Square would want to kind of keep Final Fantasy VII in people's minds for as long as they could. It's not a game that has multiple endings. It's not the kind of game that I think would have multiple paths or anything like that. Like, you play it straight through. Now, it does have its replay value as far as, like, getting extra summons or, you know, if you want to fight, like, Ruby Weapon and Emerald Weapon and that sort of thing. Get Knights of the Round, Chocobo Racing, try to get a gold Chocobo for those other 2, or for what you need. Well, it also brings into question, like, how hard is Sephiroth going to be? Because he was mad tough. But I don't necessarily mind the breaking up into the 3 acts. It'd be curious if, like, how they might approach that. Like, if you pay $60 up front and then you get the other 2 and they come out, or if you'll pay like $15 or $20 maybe for each section as it comes out. But if it is kind of broken up into 3 acts, like I said, I don't remember 7 all that closely, but I could see the first act or the first disc in air quotes being getting out of Midgar. So maybe they just have like a bigger part of that game that you can get involved in, and then right as you leave Midgar and before you go to that city after Shinra is killed, I would imagine that would be the end of part one. And after that, part two would probably end with Aerith's death, and then you'd write out part three from that point to the end of the game. Would make the most sense. And I think ending on a cliffhanger like that would work. Like she would get impaled from the back, and then that moment where like Cloud puts her in the water, and then there's like that lull right before you get back to the world map. Assuming that there is even going to be a world map, I don't know how linear this game is going to be. I think that could be where like it's an end of part two, and then you come back in the next part. Previously on Final Fantasy, but I know I've been going on for a super long time. I meant to make this very, very short. I was impressed by this trailer. The people whose opinions I really respect when it comes to video games, they said that it looked really promising. Even though I came in very skeptic, I am very content with it. I still feel like it's just cool, and it's probably not going to be a bad game, but I think it just has to be very mindful about whether or not it's going to pull from the other Final Fantasy VII content that exists, because some of that other content is just not good. It's good when it exists outside of 7, but when it's incorporated into 7, I think that it could bring down some really, really iconic moments in the game. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to now watch some other reaction videos from other people, as well as hit the forums and see what everybody's talking about. I'm curious if people come across this video, what their thoughts are on Final Fantasy VII. I mean, I think everyone is probably going to agree that it looks really good, but if you do have any skepticism or any fears about the game, I'd be curious what those are. But other than that, thanks so much for checking out the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.